Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Major Crash Review Task Force. We're meeting at 2:30 p.m. approximately on Wednesday, January 29th, 2020 at the District Department of Transportation on the 4th floor of 55 M Street Southeast. Looking around the table and at the sign-in sheet, we have 4 of the voting members present, which is the minimum for a quorum, 4 of our 6 voting agencies. The minutes from the December 18th meeting were circulated, and I believe the group has reviewed them. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting?
I approve.
I'll second.
I'm gonna go with Eileen. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the meeting minutes are approved from December 18th. Doesn't look like there are any new voting members or alternate members present, so we can skip that. Is there any other business anyone wants to bring up for the open session?
We should just talk briefly about the annual report.
Yeah, I'm sure. Haven't done that much work for a couple of reasons. One is just personal family stuff, and then the PACS. All the PACS money was stolen, so that's fuck up.
Oh no.
Anyway,
Oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah. I'm still trying to get through the write-ups for the last round.
Okay.
I did want to raise a couple of other issues. And I don't know if you want to do this at the beginning or the end, but one issue I'll raise now since we've got MPD, which is that, of the crashes we reviewed last in 2019, there's 2 that still have substantive proceedings going on, that unless those proceedings are resolved, I don't think we should be talking about the cases in the report. And my concern is that the outcome's gonna change, but that it could, if we say something that.
If we prematurely
Yeah.
raise
that
something
we
else,
should
that
let
would,
it.
probably would play in the court.
And there's a couple of others that are still pending sentencing, but hopefully the sentencing will be done by the time we actually put the report out, so but it's just like, be aware of, and that was one of the reasons I was interested in the specials, was that I was thinking, theoretically we're supposed to review all cases that Major Crash handles, but we obviously don't have the time to do that. But we could take the approach that we're gonna do the fatals in depth, meaning the way we normally do them. But most specials, we would I'm not sure what we should review, but we would only review like the sort of very basic stuff to see how they fit into the report. So like if we're looking at, how many impairment cases, we look at the ones that have impairment and we basically just count them. So that it's also so we have more numbers than we did last year, so we have a bigger universe of cases.
I think we should scrub the SCI cases completely out though, because that's not really a traffic fatality. That's a category created for us so the department looks at a death and they'll say which unit is best equipped to handle it. A lot of our SCI cases are actually like industrial accidents.
Mm-hmm.
So
you mean specials that didn't become fatals?
well, there's special circumstances investigation, which
Right.
means it's
Yeah,
a weird.
right.
It's a
Right,
weird.
like
You have a special case which has been labeled like that as well before I got here. We only had two categories: death, special. Death
Okay.
means obviously the person passed. Special meant we took the case because at the time of the crash,
Right.
could have gone either way.
Right.
And then a couple years ago, when they started getting some odd cases where they just weren't sure who would be the best to handle it, they said, you guys are going to handle the death case, but it's not a traffic fatality. And the prime example, that most of them we see are like industrial accidents.
Are you
where
doing the one at Fannie Mae, at the old Fannie Mae site?
At the,
road work up on Wisconsin Avenue?
from 2019?
Yeah.
Yes. So where,
Next door to where I live.
so where like something like that, where you have a piece of construction equipment that may run somebody over,
Mhm.
which happens a lot. Or steamroller, believe it or not, we've got steamrollers.
Okay.
Stuff like that may be on private property or, and we take that.
Okay, that sounds reasonable.
But it really is, it's not
I mean,
gonna factor into anything with Vision Zero to say, how can you make this safer? Well, it would be safer if it wasn't a construction site, but it's a construction site, so.
We can say in the report that we made, if everybody else agrees, we can say in the report we made a decision that we're not gonna look at those
I think
specific
that's
types of
fine.
cases.
Yeah, I do think if we can figure out how to pull just the data that's already public,
On the specials?
Not on the specials, but on the fatals that we don't end up covering, cause they're so, I think that would be great, though, for 2018 at this
I
point.
mean, it's, some of it's.
Well, I would be the specials that I would want to.
Well, there's three categories. So the two
Yeah.
that would directly relate to traffic safety, death, D cases,
Right.
and special cases.
Yeah, and we're trying to get through all the D cases, right?
And a special circumstances case is not even, it might not even be on the street. It may be.
So we could just pick out the ones that are on the street, like the pedestrian strike at, I think on Bladensburg Road, that.
That's a,
Special.
that's a special.
That's a special, yeah.
So-
It would be like the one we had last year where the woman in the Safeway parking lot.
Oh, that
ran
one.
over
That was a
herself.
special circumstance.
That was
Yes,
special
so
circumstance.
something
would
like
be
that in a
fine.
parking lot where she forgot to put the car in park,
Yeah.
Right.
and the car rolled over her.
Allegedly.
I remember that.
It's not a traffic fatality because it didn't
Right.
occur on the street, but we,
It's related.
one of them was the same thing. There was a guy fixing his car up in 2D.
Ugh.
His car was parked on a hill, and the car came out of park in his driveway, rolled down, and pinned him. Homicide, you know, it's, once they see a car or something with wheels, they automatically call us.
Oh, okay.
Not necessarily our case, but you know what, we're better equipped to handle it,
Mhm.
so we'll go ahead and take it. Somebody has to investigate it,
Yeah.
and you want the best foot forward, I guess, to cover all the bases, and we can go and, you know.
Maybe what, to think about, because like both of those cases kind of make me go, but maybe this is something people should know, is that if, and we would say generally no to the special circumstance cases, but if there were ones where you thought there could be some merit to us discussing them in terms of educating the public about, this is in traffic, it's not something DDOT can do anything about, but be aware, that, you kind of know what I mean?
Okay.
Like,
We can look at it
like
and see.
industrial accidents, the OSHA's gonna do that, and you're gonna do that, and there's probably nothing we would have to add to
Yeah.
it.
I think,
But my main interest would be getting the specials, which are the non-fatals, but could have been fatals.
yeah, the
And-
critical.
And I,
Yeah.
I was thinking like maybe looking at I don't know, like would the PD-10s have enough information on them for us to pull, would they be reliable enough for us to just,
Well, I mean,
like,
we
citizen
investigate
group read
that,
them?
like, any special case that we would take, that gets no less attention than a death case.
I know. I just mean like, it takes us about 20 or 30 minutes to go through the death cases, and I'm thinking, I'm looking for a way to look at it where we could look at them in like 10 minutes, and we wouldn't necessarily need, you could, obviously you'd come in, but
Right.
if you wanted to, but we could divide them up. Each of us take a certain number of them, look through the PD-10s or some other document that, that we could get through, and so we could be able to count them for, where do they fit in the categories we've got.
That's fine, yeah.
I think the narratives on the PD-10 would be, I think the memos that we get from the major crash is much more detailed than what
Okay.
we'd see on
Does it
the
include the
PD-10.
VIN number and the type of car and all that?
But yeah, you could get some of that from the PD-10s, meaning,
Because I'm trying to look at like horsepower and the size of the vehicle and the weight of the vehicle.
should be able
that kind of stuff.
to get that, yeah.
That sounds good. I mean, maybe one thing we could do is, even put together just a basic spreadsheet that we wanna fill out for those, and then just either get the narrative, or if there's a question we have to, you
We
can.
can bring the whole case jacket if you wanna,
Okay.
do 3 deaths and 3 specials. We have a lot, we will have as many specials generally as death cases.
Okay.
So if we have 30 death cases a year, we're gonna have somewhere between 25 and 35 specials. It's just a way, there's no
Okay.
rhyme or reason to it, it's just the way it kinda works out. It's
Okay.
about half of our caseload overall, maybe a
And-
special case.
And of the ones that are special cases, how many of those are still on the street, meaning that didn't end in a fatality?
All the specials, right?
No,
It's-
because you're saying the specials, you're
There's
saying that
special,
these.
it's two types
Oh,
of
there's-
cases.
oh, I see it.
Special circumstance, which are deaths that
That's
aren't
different
on the
than-
street, and then specials, which are non-fatal, right?
It's confusing, not to us, cause we work with it every day, but because of the word special.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
that's where everybody gets
SCI is
confused.
something else. I
Something
see.
completely
Okay,
different, it's just a
okay.
different
So
animal.
specials are.
Specials are near deaths or.
Yeah, near that.
Yeah, okay,
Which-
now I get it. I was getting
which-
confused, I thought you were talking about the same
Right.
thing, and then we kept going back and forth.
Or
Okay.
something
So
dynamic, very
specials are-
dynamic,
yeah,
that
yeah.
it would be too much for patrol division, that you would need detectives to come in. Like, I'm trying to give you a good example of, one of the unique specials we have is just, they just actually got a warrant for the guy. Car was taken in an armed carjacking in PG County. He saw it up on 11th Street Northwest. When they tried to stop it, the car took off. And the car was in the area fleeing. Police didn't do anything. He was trying to make a U-turn to try to get to a back street, flipped the car over, broke the girl's neck that he hit, so she's paralyzed. And then they took off running. And we took that case because of the paralysis, you know, the seriousness of the injury. And so we ended up getting an arrest warrant for the guy because we have a DNA hit on the airbag and linked it to the Prince George's County case. Just linked it. It was a long investigation, but the guy's getting charged with, you know, aggravated assault on our end and several counts in PG County. But if you would have had a patrol officer come, they would have taken a report. Since she's serious, you know, paralysis, that would have been the end of it.
Yeah.
So that was something we took because we knew that we could.
You could dig in more. Yeah.
We could get our teeth in it, we could dig in and get the higher charge. And it's nothing against the patrol officer, because that patrol officer, he takes that report, and then the dispatcher's calling him in 30 minutes, 40 minutes saying, are you available, because I have an assignment for this up here, and then when you clear there, I have another assignment for you, because they're doing a lot of moving. You know,
Right.
and it may be an accident at one scene, the domestic violence the next scene, and it could be a shooting the third scene. So we just didn't want something like that get put on the back burner when these guys here,
Right.
the detectives, let's do some more, you know, let me get some warrants, let me get some DNA, and we can take this and we can get a higher charge out of it. You know,
Okay.
that's an example of a special. Or we get there that night and they go to the MedStar and they're like, it's 50-50. He's got a brain bleed. We don't know whether he's going to make it through the
Yeah.
night. We're going to take it because it's probably a good possibility that person may pass, and why not let us get in front of it? We take it now because if they pass in a day, we're already into it. You know, we're doing our thing.
Right.
If they get better, okay, it's even great they didn't pass away. But we're still gonna do everything we do on a death case, and the case tag's gonna be that thick, and other than the fact that the person just didn't pass. That make sense?
Yep, I
Okay.
hear you. Okay. All right, so we'll work on, should we put together a spreadsheet on that, or what's the best
Well,
way
I'm
to-
thinking like I've got a spreadsheet on the Dropbox for, in cases I've got so far, that what I'd be interested in is like, and I can help with this, is entering the specials on the spreadsheet.
Okay, based on the narratives and the PD
Yeah.
tens. So we basically need somebody to pull the PD tens, or can you pull those, or?
I can't,
You
I
can't
don't
see
have
them?
them, but if somebody, I can come down, you know, it's like, I don't know that we need to meet, I could come down and
Just,
like
yeah,
sit
just
in a room
pull
with
These are
them
all
and enter
in
them, and
the open
then we
data.
don't have them.
We have them in
And
the
if something,
And Terrace, oh, okay. So we could put just like that stuff in through Terrace, okay.
If
Yeah,
we
I
come
don't-
up
I don't
with a
know. You
list,
guys know how this
we-
works.
We wanna look at the 2018 list of what's closed, or 2019 list, what's closed. You know, just as long as, if I had more time, I could've looked at it.
That's fine, that's
totally,
fine.
not faulting.
We could get you because the PD10 is gonna be pretty generic.
Okay.
And in some cases, we want the generic PD. If we're taking a case,
Yeah.
let's make the PD10 somewhat generic. Because my investigation and their investigation is gonna be a
I
lot
see.
more in depth.
I
And I
see.
don't wanna contradict something on PD10 when they find out
Oh,
something later.
interesting,
Yeah.
okay.
So really the best thing is that initial memo or the closure memo
Right, that's what-
is the best thing to really find out
Okay.
what happened, what led up to this crash, what happened the hour before that, what happened, you know, because the PD10, like if you go pull PD10 on most cases, it's gonna be pretty,
It's just gonna say.
you know, vehicle one was traveling northbound on 11th Street when
Well-
vehicle two passed a red light,
Right.
and
Yeah.
vehicle one struck vehicle two.
And P1
Right.
says
Well, that's one of those things that we
P2.
did, like, last year in our findings, have, like, crashes happening, you know, in the overnight period, you know, crashes, I mean, really generic stuff, but still just saying, like, oh,
I
a lot
mean,
of these
it's-
happen
it's, you know, we
this
need,
time. and
the
it's, you know.
generic stuff is important too.
Yeah.
So we could kind of put
I
that
just, it's
together.
like, I don't know the universe of possible documents, cause I'm not as immersed in it as either of you.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to kind of like, you know, what would.
So maybe what we
something-
do is this, maybe what we do is we try and create a list of the crashes,
Mhm.
basically,
Some
from
idea
your
or something.
spreadsheet,
Right.
really.
Let's start with
right?
2019, since we're still working on 2019.
Should
I
you-
probably have.
Well, this is gonna be for for the report that's
2018.
gonna cover 2018.
Yeah, we should probably do it for 2018.
2018.
Yeah. And then-
And if possible, 2017, because we didn't see most of the specials then. So, and that
That's true.
gives us a much bigger universe of crashes.
And I think we have the spreadsheet from you all for both those years, so we could just start from there, and
Sure.
then just kinda highlight gaps, and then,
Cause the spreadsheet, the major crash spreadsheet has specials on it, right?
This should be a tab, if you get the link, it should be a tab, death cases are the first one, because that's what everybody looks at.
Right.
Specials is the second tab, and then the far right, like if the person passes, sometimes I'll highlight it in red. If you look at it, why is there 3 highlighted in red, because this special pass, and it's now death number, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Special circumstances cases usually are just, they are what they are. You have 2 or 3 a year, if that,
Yeah.
on the third tab, and it'll be something weird. It'll be
Yeah.
an odd case, that, just like
We
that's
can
weird.
just ignore that.
Mm.
So I guess the only other issue is gonna be which ones are right for review, which ones have nothing, like the investigation's closed, and you have the declination or the
Right,
court
we just have
cases.
to, you'd have to say, check out these 5 cases, which ones are good to look at.
Okay.
And I could say, all right, this one's closed out, this one's still open, this one's
Okay.
closed.
So you guys could go from the spreadsheet you've got?
we have a spreadsheet, so we can just create the list of the crashes,
Yeah,
with the
let's start with
CCNs,
Yep.
and we can start with that, and
Yeah.
then, you can, if you wanna come by, maybe we can help, just,
Yeah.
just pull the really generic stuff that may not be already in there.
Just drag the whole spreadsheet over to the far right, because there's so many columns on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And look at the comments.
Okay, there's a
And
lot
make
of
sure
stuff
it
in
doesn't
there.
say,
Okay.
patient died or victim died, and, you know,
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah.
would be, you're reviewing 2 cases that are saying.
Right.
Okay,
it'll be
okay,
death
cause it'll
case.
get renamed.
It just gets renumbered. It's
Renumbered,
definitely-
okay,
Maybe we can talk at the end about when a good time for me to come.
All right.
The only other thing I'm gonna mention is we had our oversight hearing, and I didn't watch all of DDOT's, but I was asked, how is DDOT doing at implementing the major crash recommendations for last year? And I said, I don't know, I've heard they're doing some late night single timing, but other than that, I don't know. And that's probably something we should.
We should
cover.
address in the report, that's a good point, yeah, yeah, yeah. We are doing a bunch of stuff, yes. We had a good call with Chief Carroll, actually, last week about some enforcement ideas. Based on some of the stuff we talked about here, but also the, high injury corridors we're working on. I'll tell you about that.
Well, DDOT has a pretty, the list DDOT has for the high
Injury.
frequency corridors, it doesn't, it's not gonna change too much.
Yeah, no, I
Until,
hear you.
till you have a lot of engineering change. I mean, but
Yeah.
like being in the city as long as we have, we kinda know, like, we know which streets are gonna be, you know, Suitland Parkway and Stanton Road,
Suitland
Suitland
Parkway.
Parkway and First Sterling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what, you know, that's gonna be, in my opinion, that's
It's a
gonna be the
mess.
number 1 intersection of the city, but I think your data has somewhere, Bladensburg Road, right? North Galveston.
Yes.
Well, that's
New York.
New
crashes,
York.
crashes.
Yeah.
Well, I think in terms of like more fatality and, you know, more serious injuries, probably the one that you highlighted is
Yeah.
probably one of those, you know. New York Bladensburg has a lot of.
There's a lot of crashes.
But
Yeah.
A lot of
it
moving parts
does-
in the intersection.
Right, and it does have, yeah, and there's a lot more vehicular traffic too.
Yeah, but Suitland Parkway is definitely
Yeah.
an issue, yeah.
I
We were all
think
around there
I
last
think
night.
speed on Suitland
Yeah.
is one of the big.
No lights, speed, and you guys are
Right.
fighting a losing battle, because that's, you know, we had this conversation last night, and it's been like this forever, that we handle the crashes on Suitland Parkway. But it's all Department of Interior property, so if they don't want
Interesting.
guardrails and lights, they're
Right.
not gonna put them up, but it's dark out there,
Mm.
you know, I mean.
But that's something, you know, we could.
That's the kind of thing we can highlight
highlight.
and try and push on. Like the
Yeah.
crash we had in Pennsylvania and Minnesota, we have a project pending to fix that corner. Waiting for NPS to surrender the land and finish the land swap that we're doing, because NPS owns that parcel right behind it.
Right.
So hopefully now we can push on them, move that project forward and get it done, so. Okay, well, we should, go into closed session and do these crashes.
Is
and
there
kinda
a
go this-
motion to move to a closed session?
So,
Does anyone second that?
Second.
All right, then we can do a roll call vote. So MPD Lieutenant Wilkins,
Yes, here.
DDOT Linda Bailey,
and
and Leon, yes.
Either.
Office of Planning, Kristen Calkins.
that was
Right.
This is yes or no, right?
Yes. The PAC, Eileen McCarthy.
Yes.
There's no one here from the Bicycle Advisory Council, Multimodal Accessibility Advisory Council, Helen.
Down here.
And that's all the voting members, so, okay, we can go into a closed session and review crashes.
And then we can chat about it.
Okay, so we're returning from the closed session, which we entered to protect the privacy of individuals involved in major crashes. Is there any other business anyone would like to discuss before we adjourn? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to
Leon?
adjourn.
Yes. Mhm.
And then is someone second
I'll
that?
second
Helen.
Let's take turns.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, meeting adjourned, thank you.